Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our Sindhis Unite session about the Son of Sindh with Dr. Zafar Junejo. A little bit about Sindhis Unite. It started back in 2020 during the pandemic on an app called Clubhouse, and we meet weekly on Saturdays to discuss the Sindhi culture, what's wonderful about the Sindhi culture, the language, the history, the food, the literature, and so much more. And we are also on Instagram at Cindy's Unite, and we're on YouTube at Cindy's Unite. So that's a little bit about the background of Cindy's Unite. I'm going to turn it over to our moderator for today, Gayatri, who's going to tell you a little bit more about our session. Gayatri?
Thanks so much, Priya. Am I visible? Okay, so when I got a chance to get this book in London, I got very interested. I'm sorry if my background is blurring this out, but that's the book, which has been written by Dr. Zafar Junejo, and it has its foreword done by Julian Levesque. So I also had an opportunity to read Julian's research paper on Sindhi nationalism back in 2020, thanks to Munir. And so I was very interested, and then I somehow found out Dr. Zafar Junejo's email, and I emailed him, and he happily accepted my invite to come up on our platform and speak about his book that he has authored on Sai GM Sayyid and his contribution. This topic particularly interested me because I'm an Indian Sindhi Hindu, a third generation here, and we don't really know too much about contributions of influential nationalists like Sai GM Sayyid, because I think it's very important that we understand the political socio-economic dynamics of Sindh and how British era colonialism has impacted it, and how people like Sai GM Sayyid's contribution have shaped it to bring it to the present day Sufi Sindh that we have, and how the integrity of us Sindhis before our religions has kept us going till date to preserve our heritage and history successfully. And introducing Dr. Zafar Junejo. So he holds a PhD in history from University of Malay in Malaysia, and he is a prolific writer and researcher. Dr. Junejo's interest encompass in colonialism, South Asian history, social and peasant history, and perhaps his contributions to writing have also led him to write a book called The Son of Sindh, which focuses on a biography of Sai GM Sayyid, his life and writing. Over to you, Dr. Junejo, to explain about the book and carry the session forward. Thank you so much.
I would like to say that before I talk about the book, I would like to request Asif from her to introduce the book as a publisher. Then I will in detail talk about all these things, how it was conceived, what it contains, what is the central message of the book. It is my suggestion. We may structure in this way.
If Asif Pamarji is available, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm available, and definitely. So first of all, Sindhis Unite, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to bring this book on international forum. तव्हां सभिनी खे जी वॾी वॾी महिरबानी ऐं सभिनी सम्झी तमामु ख़ुशी थी जेके असांजी यंगेस्ट सिंधी आहिनि स्पेशली हू अनफॉर्चुनेटली उन जा forefathers they migrated in that difficult time after creation of this disastrous nation. So this book, the idea for this book started almost 2 years ago, and Mr. Zafar Junejo, he brought that idea and to works in the Congress and GM's Memorial Committee, and that was a great idea because now we realize how important this book is, because so far there's no, this is considered one of the most valuable, concise book on James, which covers not only his writings, but on the writings about him, the historical perspective, and his interviews and his anecdotes about his book. So this is a very good research document. Whoever is interested in not only GMC, but on Sindh, whoever is interested in the period during like 30s to until passing away of Sai GMC. So this is a historical document for everybody who's interested in South Asia, Sindh, Pakistan, political history. So as I mentioned, I represent here the GMC Memorial Committee. So that is the sister organization of World Sindhi Congress, and that uh, was created after passing away of Mr. James Sayed. Saint James Sayed was passed away in 1994, and after 2000, his grandson Zia Shah and some of the friends from Varsity Congress in Houston, they established this organization, and the purpose of this organization was to to preach the writings, his thoughts, his legacy, not only Sindh but in the outside Sindh. So that was and they spread his message of non-violence, right of self-determination. So that was the whole purpose, and we have been organizing James's birthday since then in Houston every year. I think that was the yeah 22nd or 23rd year. This year we celebrate over there, but we celebrate James's birthday all over the world. It's not only works in the Congress, our James and Memorial Committee celebrate Science birthday, but all folks of uh, people from all corners of the world, they celebrate. That is considered now one of the international celebrated event in the world, 17th January. So about this book, yeah, as you can see now, this book is available on Amazon. So that is the best part. So everybody who's interested outside and can get its copy. And beside that, if somebody is interested on James and writing, it's good to see Munir Haider Shah. He's the great grandson of Sai James says. So people like him, and we are always here to help the youngsters who want to do research on James, and want to read his ideology, who want to read his national right of self-determination message. So this is not only this book, but Sai James had wrote almost 60 books, and beside there's hundreds of articles later. So he is a treasure of his literature work, not only on politics, but on culture, on history, on Sufism. So Saint James said he uh, wrote on all subjects related to, and the best part is on all those subjects, the center of thought is always Sindh. So it's not, no matter what Syed wrote, it was not, it was always connected with the Sindh. So anyway, so I don't take much time. Zafar will talk more in detail about this book. But again, thank you, Sindhis United and Zafar Junaid, of course, for taking lead and compiling this book. And again, as I said, we are here always to help the youngsters about if who is interested in the Syed's writings, not only this book but other books, because there's a few online libraries available who provide free digital books of Syed. So again, thank you so much, and I will take back to you, Catherine.
Thanks, Asif. If you want to convey this message again in Sindhi, also you can do that. Some of our panel members do understand Sindhi.
Okay. जरूर सभिनि जी वॾी वॾी महिरबानी एंड ऑफ कोर्स हिंदी में मैसेज करण में पंहिंजो मज़ो ई पंहिंजो आहे हीअ जीअं मूं चयो त असांजो हीउ जेको किताबु आहे उहो जेम्स मेमोरियल कमेटी ऐं पीकॉक पब्लिकेशन कराची में उन सां गॾिजी करे इहो छापियो आहे। हीउ जेको आइडिया असांजे ज़फ़र खणी आयो तक़रीबन 2 साल पहिरियां, एंड इन में छाकाणि त मां इन फर्स्ट हैंड विटनेस आहियां इन जो, त इन जी केतिरी सॼे प्रोसेस में महिनत थी आहे। ज़फ़र केतिरो इन में पोरियो कयो आहे, जंहिंमें इन केतिरी जेके सॼा डॉक्यूमेंट कलेक्ट कयो आहे। ऐं जीअं मूं पहिरियां चई चुको आहियां त हिन बुक जी ख़ुशूसियत इहा आहे त हिन में साईं जेम्स जो हिन में 4 चैप्टर्स आहिनि। ज़फ़र ज़रूरु हुन ते ॻाल्हाईंदो। हुन हिकिड़ो चैप्टर जंहिंमें साईं जेम्स जूं पंहिंजूं राइटिंग्स आहिनि, ऐं उहे तमामु वैल्यूबल उहो सॼो साईं जेम्स जो इवोल्यूशन ॿुधाए थो त साईं जेम्स कहिड़े कहिड़े प्लेटफॉर्म ते कहिड़नि वक़्तनि में कहिड़ी आइडियोलॉजी सां कमु कयो। साईं जेम्स ते तमामु जेके उन दौर जा जेके मोतबर माण्हू हुआ उन्हनि साईं जेम्स ते लिखियो आहे। हिकिड़ो चैप्टर हुन ते आहे। हिकिड़ो चैप्टर आहे एनेक्डोट्स त साईं जो तालुक आम माण्हुनि सां कारकुननि सां कीअं हो, उन मां माण्हू जी पर्सनैलिटी ख़बर पवे थी त साईं माना त साईं जेम्स जे लाइ कारकुन जेके जिन उन्हनि सां वक़्तु गुज़ारियो हो उहे चवंदा त साईं जेम्स असांजा उन ॾे वेंदा हुआसीं सन में उन जो उतार ते, हू असांजो माउ वांगुरु ख़्यालु कंदो। असां वेंदा हुआसीं उनजे घर तो पुछा कंदो त तव्हां मानी खाई आया हो, नो मैटर व्हाट टाइम यू गो देयर। राति जो अधु राति जो वञो, उहो चवंदो तव्हां मानी खाई आया हो, वरी सभिनि जो चवंदो त उन्हनि सभिनि जो सुम्हण जो इंतज़ाम कंदो, ऐं उहो ख़ातिरी कंदो त सभई माण्हू सुता आहिनि ऐं सभिनी मानी खाधी आहे। उहो पंहिंजी नज़रदारी में उहो कमु कंदो, ऐं इहो को हिकिड़ो ॾींहुं न हूंदो, इहो 365 डेज़ इहो सिलसिलो हलंदो। साईं जेम्स जॾहिं सन में हूंदो, छाकाणि साईं जेम्स तमामु एक्टिव पॉलिटिकल लाइफ गुज़ारी आहे। इवन जॾहिं साईं जी जो पहिरियों एक्टिविज़म हो न, साईं 14 या 15 सालनि जो हो, तॾहिं खां साईं उहो एक्टिविज़म शुरू कयो। त साईं जी जेका साईं जॾहिं सन में हूंदो न, त सन में सम्झो त मेलो मतल हूंदो, ईअं सम्झो। छाकाणि त उन दौर में साईं, ऐं मां घणो टाइम वरी साईं ते ॻाल्हाइण जे लाइ, मां त नंढो कारकुन आहियां, त मां कलाक सवा त ईअं कचहरी में ॻाल्हाए वेंदुसि। मां तव्हांजो घणो टाइम न वठंदुसि, पर अगेन
Uh,
मां इहो
can
चवंदुसि त
you explain about Sun? Where is Sun for people who do not know about the geography of Sindh?
अच्छा, सन जेको आहे उहो हींअर करंटली दादू डिस्ट्रिक्ट में आहे। उहो इंडस रिवर जे मुनीर दर्शा करेक्ट मी कहिड़े पासे खां आहे?
सन हिन
आवाज़
वक़्तु ज़िले जामशोरे मां आहे। दादू मां
हा
पहिरीं हो, हाणे ज़िले
हा,
जामशोरे मां।
जामशोरे में। ऐं उहो इंडस रिवर सां हिकिड़ो नंढो हिकिड़ो उन दौर में ॻोठ हो जेको हाणे टाउन थी चुको आहे। ऐं इहो बाय द माउंटेन रेंज, हिकिड़े पासे खां हुनजी माउंटेन रेंज आहे, ॿिए पासे इंडस रिवर आहे। सो इहे सभई हिकिड़ो जेके इहे सभु शयूं साईं जेम्स जी पर्सनैलिटी में तव्हां ॾिसी सघो था। छाकाणि त माण्हू जिथे रहंदो आहे न, त उहे शयूं उन इलाइक़े जूं साईं जी जेका वॾाई आहे, यू कैन सी लाइक अ माउंटेन्स। ही वाज़ हिन जी तमामु वॾी पर्सनैलिटी हुई। ऐं पर मां आई गो बैक टू सन ऑफ सिंध हिन किताब जे हिसाब सां, त हीअ जो किताबु आहे इहो जेम्स मेमोरियल कमेटी जेका वर्ल्ड सिंधी कांग्रेस जी सिस्टर ऑर्गेनाइज़ेशन आहे, उन जी कोशिश सां छापियो आहे, जंहिंमें ऑफकोर्स जेको असुल पोरियो हो ज़फ़र जो आहे, जेको सॼो अकेडमिक आहे। पर असां ज़फ़र ने त शायदि थोरो ज़िक्र कंदो त असां पोइ 2 सालनि में, जीअं मूं चयो न, मां फर्स्ट हैंड विटनेस आहियां, त असां हिन ते तमामु घणी ज़फ़र समेत असांजे दोस्तनि तमामु घणी हिन ते महिनत कई आहे। असां हमेशह इहा कोशिशि कई त जेको असां किताबु आणियूं, हिकिड़ो वैल्यूएबल डॉक्यूमेंट, नॉट सेक ऑफ इशूइंग द बुक, रिलीज़िंग द बुक, पर अहिड़ो बुक हुजे जेको स्पेशली माना यूवर सिंधीज़ यूनाइटेड, यूवर एक्चुअली आवर टारगेट्स। असां तव्हां जेके यंगस्टर्स जेके सिंध खां ॿाहिरि था रहनि, जेके सिंध सां अनफॉर्चुनेटली डिस्कनेक्टेड आहिनि, असां उन्हनि जे लाइ किताब थियणु चाहियो त उहे ॾिसनि। छाकाणि जॾहिं तव्हां इहो साईं जो किताबु पढ़ंदो त उहो तव्हां जेम्स ते कोन था पढ़ो, पर तव्हां उन दौर जी हिस्ट्री खे था पढ़ो। उन दौर में पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन कहिड़ियूं हुयूं, उहे कंडीशन्स कीअं हुयूं, माण्हू तव्हां, छाकाणि त जेके अॼु जूं कंडीशन्स आहिनि, तव्हां उहे कंडीशन्स ते उनखे पॉइंट कंडीशन सां मैच नथा करे सघो हर वक़्तु। ऐं उहो दौर में साईं जेम्स खिलाफ़त मूवमेंट खां वठी वरी लोकल बॉडीज़ जी इलेक्शन उन में कई, लोकल गवर्नमेंट लोकल पॉलिटिक्स कई, वरी कांग्रेस में, वरी ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम लीग में, उन सां वरी पाकिस्तान खां पोइ बि साईं 70 ताईं 70s ताईं पाकिस्तान जी ॻाल्हि कंदो आयो। पर इन सॼे पहिरें ॾींहं खां वठी साईं जो जेको महवर हो न, जेको पॉइंट ऑफ सेंटर हो न, उहो सिंध हो। साईं कॾहिं बि का ॻाल्हि सिंध खां ॿाहिरि न कई, कॾहिं बि का ॻाल्हि सिंध खां इरिलेवेंस न हुई। साईं जी जेका पॉलिटिक्स हुई न, उहा हमेशह सिंध जी। ऐं जीअं मूं चयो त साईं उहो पॉलिटिक्स न लिखियो आहे। साईं 60 खां वधीक, तक़रीबन 60 किताब लिखिया आहिनि, पर हर सब्जेक्ट ते लिखिया आहिनि। उन में तारीख़ आहे, उन में सकाफ़त आहे। ऐं हींअर ही किताब ते आहे त असां घणो ॿियो टाइम न रखंदासीं त साईं जी साईं जेके जेके साईं सिंध जो जेके मुआशरे या क़ौमी शयुनि खे नओं नालो ॾिनो। पहिरियां सिंधी क़ौम जो जेको तस्वर हो न, उहो वाज़े कोन। साईं जेम्स सैदिश हो जंहिं इन खे वेल डिफाइन कयो, पर डिफाइन ईअं न कयो साईं पंहिंजी ख़्वाहिश मुताबिक़ न कयो। साईं उन्हनि खे साइंसी बुनियादनि ते डिफाइन कयो त सिंधी हिकिड़ी क़ौम आहे ऐं छो क़ौम आहे। उन खे तारीख़ आहे, उन खे ज़बान आहे, उन खे पंहिंजी धरती आहे, ऐं उन खे पंहिंजी सकाफ़त आहे। त इन्हनि बुनियादनि ते साईं उन्हनि खे, इहा सिंध क़ौम त उहा सदियुनि खां हुई, पर साईं जेम्स उन खे रीडिफाइन कयो। अहिड़े हिसाब सां रीडिफाइन कयो जो प्रिया ज्ञात्री जेका थर्ड जनरेशन आहे न, शी कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट इट्स नॉट के माण्हू जो हू उन पंहिंजी ख़्वाहिश मुताबिक़ न कयो, पर उन खे जेके नेशनल या इंटरनेशनल क्राइटेरियास आहिनि उन हिसाब सां डिफाइन कयो। सो आई डोंट टेक मच टाइम। अगेन थैंक यू सो मच। ऐं ऑफकोर्स जीअं मूं चयो त साईं जा जेके किताब आहिनि न, हीअ त हिकिड़ो किताब अमेज़ॉन ते अवेलेबल आहे, ऐं ऑफकोर्स इट्स बाय पेमेंट आहे। बाक़ी साईं जा काफ़ी डिजिटल बुक्स फ्री अवेलेबल आहिनि। मां कुझु ज्ञात्री सां आई ऑलरेडी शेयर्ड विथ यू दोज लिस्ट ऑफ ऑनलाइन सोर्सेज. So I would say you share in your circle and feel free because there's no any hesitation. So
Yeah.
everybody can reach out those books and kind of I think that is an opportunity for all of us. It's not whoever is political, whoever wants to know Sindh, who wants to know the history, who wants to know that region, who wants to know what happened at that period of time. That is the best. The Sangha books are the best for all those persons. Again, thank you so much. I'll take back to you. Gayatri.
Thanks, Asif. Over to you, Dr. Junejo.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Asif, for your detailed introduction and setting the context of publishing the book. But there was one question: how much time I have?
Since we have started a bit late, you can take 15 more minutes. There are still some people who are messaging me that they are not in proper connectivity, so they would join in. So they should also get some time to hear you. So you can take 15 more minutes.
Okay. So I start that how this idea of book was realized, or what was the factor that conditioned us to publish a book. There was the two factors. One, some basic writings of Saint James were in Sindhi language, and which were translated in English by Muhammad Ibrahim Joyo, but they were scattered. They were not in compiled form or in handy form. This was the one reason to have a basic book of Saint James essential writings in a handy form at a one place. This was one idea. And second idea was that persons who don't know either Urdu or Sindhi and they only communicate in English language, there must be book for that group of persons. This was another idea. And now point is that let me confess that this is not a first book in English language about James's writings. There are four persons, in fact, who translated and published some books, some parts of St. James's writings in English language. First was Hashuk Keval Ramani. He published Struggle for News, and then in fact, he translated and then it was published Struggle for News and Originally, it was written in Sindhi language, but lately, Hashu Keval Ramani published it, translated in English and then published it. This was the first work. Then Muhammad Ibrahim Joyo translated some works of G.M. Sayyid. Then there was our friend Khadim Sumro, who translated some works of G.M. Sayyid and published in English language. And fourth one was Mr. Corejo. He published, he prepared, I think it was the first small book that was published by Oxford University Press, Pakistan. It was a biographical, little bit of political biography of Saint G.M. Said. And it was immediately published after the death of Saint G.M. Said. So this book, now I come to that, when I conceived this idea, I discussed this idea with various institutes and persons in the sense. I consulted Dr. Jafar Ahmed. He was agreed, but due to some COVID and all these situations, project was delayed. Then there was Ramzan Burdo, a person, very active person of Sindh United Party. He agreed. He paid some finances to the composer, but composer was not up to the mark, so project could not be succeeded. Then that project was discussed with Asif Panga. And central ideas of publishing this book was the same, for a publication or book for the young readers and gather the disarid material of St. James in a one form, particularly English form, particularly text in English language. So this was the idea, and I am glad that Asif and Asif team instantly agreed, and we initiated the project. Now, question was how to gather that material. Everyone said that we have, but when I visited them, when I consulted them, they said, "Okay, we have to find it out. This is there. This is there. घर में आए मिले न तो we will let you know." But
Zafar, your voice is cutting on my side.
Now it is clear.
Priya, I'm not sure how it is on your side. I cannot hear properly. Zafar.
Better up, Erinka. It's much
Cutting.
better now.
Is it okay, Asif? You are hearing me? Hello?
Yeah, you are a bit clearer right now, Dr.
I think,
Junejo.
Yes, you are clear.
That's great. That's great. So now I resume my conversation that in fact 3 persons helped me a lot to give a material. One was Dr. Azad Qazi, Mansoor Qadir Junejo, and Khadim Sumro. These were the persons, they provided the information either in Sindhi language, either in English language. Now, let me not hold a gratitude for a while, and let me thank 4 persons who helped me to conceive this title and grammatically frame this title. These three persons are Irfan Ahmad Khan. He is my Urdu speaking friend based in Karachi. And second is our very dear friend Rishika Williams. And third one is the artist Naeem Deswani. He 3 persons designed, conceived. I think there was a long session. What should be the title? What should be the placement of image? What should be the color? So these persons were very helpful. I'm very much grateful for them, for their time, for their input and all these things. And now there was a decision between the GM said Memorial Committee and myself. In fact, we have to decide that who should write the foreword. That was big challenge for us. And it is true that when you are asking someone to write a foreword, but on parallel way, you could not dictate them that foreword should be between these lines, should give this message or give such a message, should not be critical, should be favorable. You could not say that. There is academic liberty for the scholars. Whatever they write, you have to take it. Or you say them that you are not getting their forward or the material. So we discussed 3 persons' name. One was Dr. Matthew Cook, American-based Sindhologist. Then there was the name of Professor Sara Ansari, UK-based scholar and Sindhologist. And third name was of Julian. So Dr. Sara told me that she is engaged, too much engaged in the works and publications and seminar and administrative tasks of Royal Geographical Society, Great Britain, Ireland. So she could not spare the time. And Matthew Cook told me very, very, very clearly that he loved that project, but question is of a time. And he told me that if I am ready to wait for 2 years, then he will join the project. I said, okay, after 2 years, we will initiate a new project. Don't worry, we will work together. So then I talked to Julian, and Julian conditioned two terms. One, he must have a full academic liberty to write whatever he deserved fit or deemed fit. This was the first condition. Second condition was that when book is ready for the press, and technical language is called a praiseworthy copy, then he must see the final version of the text before it is going to be published. These were the two conditions. I agreed, but I also set my own terms to Julian. These were the three terms. One, all the facts, whatever he writes in the foreword, would be checked or a double checked, would be consulted. And second was, I have a right to disagree on his point of view, and if we until unless we reach a consensus, that point of view will not be part of the introduction. And third point, we both agreed. I mean, Julian and I, that if we are not agreed, then we will consult to Abdul Khalik Junejo, and whatever he suggests in terms of interpretation of text or the facts, we both have to accept it. That was the agreement, is a friendship. I should say that it was understanding between two persons that how we have to move it. And finally, we all reached an agreement and commenced the work. The present forward is the outcome of extensive email exchange that continued despite long pauses, and duration of exchange of emails was the 6 months. He provided me three drafts of his forward. We read it. We read it jointly. We held Google meetings. Then it was the final. So this is the story of the how book was conceived, how matter was gathered, and how forward was written. And it is a superb forward, very much academic, very much balanced. And another point is that if someone asks me that what is the overall personality of the book, or what text communicates, then I will share with you these points. One is that, and these points we discussed with James Memorial Committee friends and in details. And if I recall correctly, and also could bear me out, that there was a long discussion. Sometimes there was agreement between Asif and me, but there was some questions from other team members. Again, we started the same from the square one. So finally, we resolved the book will be a perspective setting. Means it will not be, second point, that it will be not a judgmental book, that this is the right, this is wrong. In fact, we provide the text. We have book contains the text, book contains a perspective, and then it is the reader who has to decide what was the wrong, what was the correct, what was the times, what was the action, what was needed, what was not needed. This is the foul, this is the perfect action of Sanjeev, things like that. Because we, as a scholar, we fully understand that reader is not innocent. He is fully well aware. He lived, he experienced such context, whatever happened in the past, similar contradictions with a different nature, with different intensity also exist in the society. And they have more opportunity, more understanding, multi-layered learning. So they should not be understood that whatever we say, they have to agree. They should set their own perspective and come up with their own ideas. So this was the thing. And it was also decided that this book should be uh, serve two functions. One, that it should be the biography. If you read my introduction, it is just like a political biography of Sindh. And if you read the other textbook, they are the textbook that evolved, that show the how Sindh own understanding about the politics, own intellectual development evolved over the time from 1914 to 1995 till death in custody of Pakistan People's Party. So these are the things. Should I continue, or because still I have not talked about the book?
Yes, please go ahead.
So there are the six parts of the book. One is the introduction. If you allow me, I quickly scan what is in the introduction. There are five parts of the book. I mean, of the introduction. One part is the जिसको जैसे सिंधी में असां चऊं त तजर्बाती दौर साईं जो तजर्बाती दौर. He was not expert in politics. That period started from 1920 to 1935. Still, we have not talked about the separation of Sindh from the Bombay.
Do you mean his experiential learning process?
Means he was active in the local politics. He was active in the district politics. He was forming his own linkages and accepting the influences of the, trends, political ideas of those times. So that is the experiential phase. What was the important events of that phase? That is the first time he direct participated in the national movements, local governance, and social welfare activities. Means he was the first person in those times. He established a farmers association. He established the people's laborers association. He took a part and established the women organization. And it is a story of 1922. It started from 1920 and it ended in 1935. And then he entered in the provincial politics, and major event in his that period, that started 1920 to 1935, was the movement separation of Sindh from Bombay Presidency. And in 1936, Sindh was separated from the Bombay Presidency. Now, point is that because this is the political biography, and every political biography, I am talking about the introduction, depicts
Mr.
two things.
Junejo, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Could you explain his reason for separating from Bombay presidency? Why did he choose to form that opinion, and what made him take this initiative ahead?
I I propose that I have noted that question, but first we completed the sequence. Then, if there are questions, definitely we will discuss. I will respond surely.
Thank you.
Now, point is that my introduction uh, rooms around three things. One, what was his politics, or what was the response of his as a person, as a political person, to that phenomena. And second point is that what character emerged from his conduct, how people conceived him or how people perceived him as a person. So he proved himself steadfast, committed to dignity, independence, and using politics for the social change. That became his, identities, cultural identities or social identities, and conduct and frame was the politics. Now there is a second phase, awakening phase that started from 1936 to 1945. Important person uh, was the key concept of shift toward the stronger provincial assertion. सूबाई ख़ुद मुख्तारी तरफ़ वधीक फोकस हो ऐं हिन ई ज़माने में three pursuits हुआ साईं GM said. The one was anti-feudal reform. He formed the Sindh committee. He tabled the reform bill. And the third was he also played a part, and lately he उन्हें अफसोस कयईं, he should not say denied, but he regretted. He took a part on communal politics, and he took it as an opportunity to propagate or give a strong base to Pakistan Muslim League. And then third event was pursuing the politics of formation or creation of Pakistan. So this was the awakening phase of Saint GM phase. Now point is that in this phase, what was the what image was emerged, or what personality people perceived or understood that what is the GM share. One image emerged that Sindh and priority or welfare of Sindh is the priority of Saint GM share. This was the one message people got. And second point was that he was blindly following the M.A. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Qaeda, as a central leader. This was the, and on the parallel way, M.A. Jinnah, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Qaeda was also relying on Saint James said, because let me quote one point, that when Saint James was not a president of the Muslim League, there was roughly 30 branches. But when he became president, there was 300 branches. And at that period, this is not mentioned in my introduction, but from other readings I'm communicating, that recently a book is published that contains the secret reports of governors to Viceroy Hind. He says that in Sindh there are some leaders, Muhammad Ayub Khodo and Sheikh Abdul Majid Sindhi and Abdullah Haroon, they are fine. But he has commented, Sanjim said, he has commented on those persons also, but he has commented, Sanjim said, that he is a fanatic, he is a courageous, and he is a fire, so he should be contained. So that was the image of Sanjim said in that sense, that Sindh is the priority, he is a courageous person. And third phase was the understanding phase. That started from 1946 to 1955. What was the event? He early support for the cabinet mission plan based on Sindh autonomy. Some people were against. Congress was against the cabinet mission, but Sindh Muslim League and Muslim League as a whole was supported. And cabinet mission plan was supported because they were agreed to Sindh autonomy. Now question is that Sindh autonomy document, which was prepared by Muhammad Ayub Khodo and Rashti Saab, they contend that Sindh should be separated due to different language, different culture, different territory, own resources. What is the nowadays the modern definition of nationalism? So that is the first document which was argued in London, which was argued with the members of cabinet mission plan, that Sindh has a right of self-determination. So this was the first document, and cabinet mission plan was supported on that argument. And another event which in that phase occurred was the rigging of 1946 election when he was contesting, and he realized the resource exploitation, particularly agricultural land, and betrayal of Sindh's rights. And fifth phase, fourth phase was a reflection phase, गौर फिक्र करना, सोचण वारो phase, realization जो phase. In that period, what shift occurred in his thinking or in his personality was shift from political federalism to cultural resistance. When that point we were discussing, I mean, I and Julian, he has used a term in his introduction that G.M. Syed was a cultural entrepreneur, and he was the main of institutional building, because in his active political life, he formed too many academic institutions, cultural institutions, and one of our senior friends, a towering personality of Sindh, M.H. Panwar, he used to say that we all are the social animals, but G.M. Syed was the political animal. Everywhere he found the interest of the Sindh, he involved, he became active politician, played a political role to gain the benefits for the Sindh and Sindhi people. So this phase was a very important reflection phase that started from 1955. At that time, one unit was imposed, and 1975 Bengal was liberated, and there was the government of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. So what was the outcome? Outcome was eventual. He started to think, he started to write, he started to strive for the right to self-determination of self. So these were the fourth point, and fifth point was emancipation, emancipated phase, 1973 to 1994. Complete ideological separation, that Sindh is the motherland, Sindhis are the nation, and we have distinguished a different role to play in human affairs at world level, at global level, and being a nation, right to self-determination is our right. This was the argument, including geographical separation. And he rejected all the current political frames, current political practices, and fully enunciated the different wave of ideas or different wavelengths. So these are the things, and all his politics is rooted in Sindh's distinguished identity, rights, and historical claims. So these were the phases of G.M. Syed's politics. Now, if you allow me, and there's a time, I talk that what is other parts, or what are the other chapters of the book. Second chapter, are you allowing me?
Yes,
Hello?
Mr. Junejo. Yes, yes,
Thank you.
Dr. Junejo.
Thank you. Second chapter are the articles. Basically, these articles are written by the person who worked with G.M. Syed. And these articles were already published. And some of them, but most of them were published in Sindh Quarterly, which was issued by Sayyid Ghulam Mustafa Shah. There were 3 volumes, and all of them were Saint G.M. Syed's old friends, M.H. Pawar, Agro, and Ghulam Mustafa Shah, Muhammad Ibrahim Joyo. So this is the second chapter. Third chapter is the personal encounters of the common people, workers, That chapter is very much interesting. Suppose there is a one encounter of a person, Kamar Zaman Rajput. हू चए थो त असां वियासीं साईं जीएम said वटि राति जो 73 जो या 76 जो ज़मानो. There was a winter. We lived in one room, but Saint James had told us that you should keep your shoes inside the room because there are the spirit dogs. They may take away your shoes and sandals and chappals. He said that we discuss, and we forget the advice, we forget the instruction, and he said that when at the morning time, I awoke and went out to room. I said, I saw that GM said was collecting our shoes and pairing them, and then keeping in the veranda. So he said, I could not forget the humbleness, the care, the consideration, so servitude. So I said that scene is still moves me a lot. And whenever I told the political persons are leaders now, they claim to be leaders, and I when discuss these things, that how what I observed, what I saw, they don't believe. But he said that it is I saw it my own eyes. That event also is uh, in chapter 3, personal anecdotes. And another event is of the Riyaz Chandio. He said, I was a young boy in metric or first year. There was a Latif Sangha, children's wing of Jason Stonefield, Jason Mahal or Jason Terry. So he said that my father and my uncle were arrested by the army. So he said that when I was having a meeting, I received the news. When meeting was over and we came out for the lunch, St. James had noticed the sadness on my face. And he said, what is wrong? Now you have won the election. You are the president of the Latif Sangha, but you look sad. I said, I told the story that my father and my uncle has been arrested. He immediately called Abdul Hamid Jatoi. He was a very reputed politician from the Mehar district, Dadu, that go and look at the matter, what is the matter, and arrange some plans that he should be, I mean, the parents, relatives of the Riyaz Chandu should be released. So he said, how I could forget that events. And there's another very much moving. Then I will shift to another chapter. It is about the Sarwar Saito. Sarwar Saito said that when there was a Congress at Sun about of GS and Mahal, he said when I was speaking, Saint James had become a little bit rash and he stopped me. He said, I also become arrogant, and I loudly said that, and I addressed him that Mr. GM said, we are not here because you are the Sayyid. We are here because you are struggling for the sin. So we are not your farmers. We are the workers. So he said, I said these things very bluntly, and then there was a silence in the room. Saint James had also become silent. He closed his eyes for a moment, and there was a pin drop silence in the room where meeting was happening. Then he took a mic from the I forget the name of Taj Joyo. Yes, he took a mic from Taj Joyo, and he closed his eyes and said that today I recalled one event of a Congress meeting when one worker discussed very abruptly with Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Nehru became silent, and then Nehru said that whatever you are saying, you are right. So Sarwar Saito arise that then in Saint James said that I, GM Sayed, beg pardon for my abrupt words, and I do understand that you are not my farmers, you are the political workers, and you are much more supreme than myself. So this was the gratitude, this was the style of Saint James said that he handled the worked with his worker. So there are a lot of personal anecdotes for the youngest to when they will read, they will image that what type of person he was, what type of care he took. So these are the things. And fourth chapter is about the interviews. There are only two interviews. One was published in the now the now it is this I mean not being published dysfunctional magazine Herald and Newsline. One was conducted by the Zahid Hussain and other was conducted by the Zafar Abbas. So these interviews are very much important. They talk about the Muslim League politics. They talk about the one unit. They talk about the language issue, and they talk about the current politics and Pakistan People's Party. So they are very much detailed, and they gave some ideas about the politics of 1980s. I mean 1980s, and they talk about the Sindh Qawmi Ittihad, they talk about MQM, they talk about the Urdu language, Sindhi language, Sindhi culture. So these are very much important articles. And fifth one is the GM says writing. Most important is that none of his writings is missed, which we found it or categorized it as an earlier writing. They are placed in an ascending order with a timeline, as the reader could understand that how his own ideas of political thought was evolved, or how he responded the events or the happenings of that time. So these are the basic writings of Saint James Sayers, and most of them were translated by Muhammad Ibrahim Joyo. And some of the publication is, I know, were instructed by Saint James that they should be the translated and I mean from Sindhi to English. And one of that writings I recall is what is the role of literature, and another is the Kharpur Miras event. It happened in Kharpur Miras event. Uban Shah Takriun. That is the area. He gave a lecture that was very much important, and it was also translated by Muhammad Ibrahim Joyo. Then there is a welcome address to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. That was also translated by Muhammad Ibrahim Joyo. So this is the basic writings. And sixth part of book is the bibliography on GM Sayed. There are certain categories. One category is books, those were authored by the GM Sayed. One. Second category is that books which were authored by the other persons, but name of GM Sayed was uh, carried out or the mention on the title. And third category is that books against the GM Sayed and against the ideas of GM Sayed, but written with the original name. And fourth category is that books against the GM Sayed, but were written in the pen name or the fake names. So these are the categories of the book, and book also contains some anecdote. One anecdote is that how many years James Said was in prison or house arrest or confined, and that table is taken from the Yasin Junejo's book. Yasin Junejo is a very veteran nationalist and lives in the Kharpur period. So in a way, this is the whole structure of the book and message of the book. If someone asks me what is the message of the book, message of book is that how GM Sayed in his own given conditions responded the political happenings and how he said some ideas in those unfavorable situations, basic ideas of Sindhi nationalism. So this is the whole content of the book. It is just like a reference book, a guidebook for the youngsters. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Dr. Zafar Junejo, for walking us through the idea of writing the book and giving us multiple introductions to Saint G.M. Sayed. If you want to take some question and answers, or if Munir wants to speak up on this topic, considering he is a great grandson of Saint G.M. Sayed, then thankfully he's present amongst us right now. Munir, if you are in a position to speak, you can unmute and talk about it.
Yes, I will be speaking for like 5 minutes, then I have to leave. Earlier, when Gayatri told me that I have to be part of this conversation, I told her my sister's getting married today, and I'm technically sitting in the wedding right now. Anyways, so I have not read the book, but when Gayatri told me about Sai Zafar Juneja's book, I was quite inspired. It was quite impressive because Sai Zafar Junejo's impression overall in Sindh is a very positive and a very serious kind of person. Um, all I'll say about Saint James Said is that as a family member of Saint James Said, um, even though he's my great grandfather, but usually we don't even call him Dada Saint. We usually call him Saint James Said because he, for us, maybe naturally he became. Fortunately, I am from his family, but technically he is an inspiration. Technically, he was a philosopher who warned us about many things of this, what the creation of the state was. Anyways, um, all I'm going to say is that Saint James's philosophy or Saint James's ideology is uh, a long time back when he said Saint James had said that society which is based on a lie, a society or a country which is based on fooling people, or a society where a country doesn't have an army, but an army has a country. Uh, that societies cannot survive in this in the 21st century. The definition of Sindhi Qaum or Sindhi nationalism, which Sain gave, was a modern nationalism. Because if you go back, historically, nations were not recognized by the way now they are recognized. Historically, if we see, we do find the terms such as the Jewish nation or the Christian nation or the Muslim nation. These were the ancient definitions of a nation. Whereas Saint James Sayed and the modern interpretation of a nation is that a nation is not defined by its religion, but on the base of its history, land, Sanskriti, civilization, and your language. And so whatever Saint warned us, it is already happening. And just imagine a couple of days back, it was Saint James Sayed's 122nd birthday, which we celebrate as a every year. It is celebrated one of the biggest nationalist gathering around. And the thing is that the state and the system here in this country is so much scared that they were forced to block the roads and they were forced to not let people enter. And all people were doing over there was just coming to his grave and paying his tribute. Nothing else. Nothing else was happening. Kab gorilla jang kan pe thi, kain pe banduku kon pe khayon. But this is what it is. The Adam Tashaddud, ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-violence, right? In Hindi, ahimsa. Right,
Yeah.
Gayatri? Yeah.
Yeah.
Saint James's philosophy of ahimsa, non-violence, is so much powerful that we can see that now also whatever Saint warned us, it is very much there. Saint did mention about when it comes to the freedom which Saint explained. Saint said that I am not only talking about the geographical freedom of Sindh, but I'm also talking about the other freedoms which we have. We also want freedom from being a slave of some other country. We also want to be free from the slavery of the Western empire puppets, which is right now my great country is a puppet of actually three countries: China, America, and Saudi Arabia. Anyways, and then Sai also warned us about um, too much money, too much technology. There are many things Sai did. And the best thing about Sai Jim said is that Sai Jim said whatever he did in his life, if he did a political mistake, Sai was the best critic of himself. Like he literally accepted in his book that these are the blunders which I did, and I want to correct that. So earlier, like someone said before me, that science politics was only based on Sindh. Whatever he did was related to Sindh. That really makes sense. Science support for the Pakistan movement was also because of Sindh, because Science thought that because Pakistan is small, the Sindhi nation will be more prominent than in the big India. Then again, some after some time, Science did deny that many things happen. And there are many things which are happening. And I think science is a big, and I am trying my level best now. Two things which I want to, and I'm sure Science Zafar and Asif Pawar and others who already doing work on have done work and know two things. One is that right now, in the time of AI, if we upload all the work of Science GMs on AI, then the thing is that if all the work of science is uploaded on AI, then if we ask something from our AI on the basis of science ideology, AI will be able to tell us because it will be telling us based on 60 books and his life. And beside that, hopefully, God willing, I am planning to make a proper documentary on science, which will be in English, Sindhi, altogether, so that we can make that an international type of a documentary which people can understand and then they can think about Science GM said. And yeah, future plan on Science GM said is I really want uh, a web series on Science GM said. Let's hope for the best. Maybe in five, ten
Yeah,
years,
we
it will
have
be a.
discussed that. We will do another session on that.
Yeah,
So for now, let's just stick to the Son of Sindh.
yeah, son of sin. Science is a son of sin, and whatever philosophy is. And then what I'm saying is that to understand science, it's not about science one book. Like Science Zafar Junejo has written a book, we must read that. Beside that, science 60 books. Then science criticism on himself, science personal life, science till his last breath, what he was preaching. So overall, science is not just one book or one ideology. Science is a combination of many philosophies. Whatever books he wrote, about the one book which I suggest to everyone to start reading before understanding science is My View of Religion, which was a critical analysis of religion, which Sain did. And after that book, Sain was given the title of a kafir here in Sindh. Anyways, so that's all I'm going to say. You guys can continue. I am in the wedding, so I'm going to continue there. I just came here. Maybe 5 minutes more, I'll
And
stay
so,
here. And then,
Ms. Munir, I know you keep a very busy schedule and you've managed to come up and you've stayed for the whole session. So really thankful.
take care. Thank you, Priya.
Thank you, Munir, for taking the time, especially during an important time for your family. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Priya and Dr. Janeja, should we start with the Q&A since we are about to end the session now?
Yes. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to raise your hand or put them in the chat, and we can get started with the Q&A with either Dr. Juneju or Mr. Panwar, and we can take it from there. So I'm just gonna.
Probably Zafar already has the one question from Gayatri earlier.
Okay.
Oh, from me. Okay.
No. You already asked a question earlier.
Yeah, Dr. Zafar Junejo, my question was that were you able to gather upon the fact that GM Sayed proposed the idea of separating Sindh from Bombay presidency much earlier than the whole partition and formation of Pakistan?
Uh, I think that historically things are very different. First time, the idea of separation of Sindh from the Bombay presidency was put forward by the editor of English Delhi that was issued from the Karachi. And it was perhaps, I forget the name, but that was the English editor. He proposed idea of separating the Sindh from the Bombay. Then there was uh, traders of the Karachi. They they were the Parsis, they were the Hindus, they were the Gujaratis. because being in the business and dealing the things with Bombay was a quite challenging in financially, administratively, and in many ways it was a difficult thing. This was the one thing. Second point, there was one uh, mayor, I mean chairperson of Karachi. He put the idea of separation of Sindh from the Bombay. Now, question is what these ideas was uh, propagating. I'm talking about the counties, early counties, and at that time, my GM said was not at he was not too active as a national or a highly profile leader. He was active in the district council and other things, but these questions were already there, and there was some technical, some grounded reasons. I would like to discuss the two. One was Sindh was just like in terms of population, in terms of resources, in terms of structure, it was just like a state. Previously, it was a state, but it was governed or administered by the commissioner, and responsibilities, rights, decisions, I mean, administrative power of the commissioner was too much, unbelievable. So there was not only separation of sin, there was very challenging ideas and laughable ideas. One idea was that sin should be uh, made part of the Punjab. This was the one idea. Second idea was that some parts of Balochistan should be included in Sindh, and in terms of the number game, since the population will multiply, more there will be more Muslims. So this was the another option. Third option was the powers of the commissioner should be limited. This was the third option. And fourth option was the separation of Sindh from the Bombay. So for the correction of record, St. James's was not the first one. Idea was already grounded. And in 30s, it become active. There are certain reasons. One, to centralism of the Congress. That was one reason. And second part was that you must be aware that before joining the Pakistan Muslim League, Sanjeev Said was a member of Indian National Congress, and he has written too many letters. There's on record his letters. He addressed Chotram and other peoples of, I mean, leaders of the Indian National Congress Sindh chapter, that these are the issues of the common Hindi. I mean, peasants and rural people. These should be addressed. But there were 2 points. Congress politics in Sindh was roaming around 2 points. One was that it was centralistic party. Whatever was decided in Delhi, it was accepted here in the Sindh. This was the one thing. Second thing was that it was too urban centered, because main donors, main supporters, main financiers of the Congress was the urban people. And already sociologically, economically, since there was coexistence, but there was no assimilation. There was a coexistence, but there was parallel lives of the rural people and very different lives of the urban people. And our bad luck that in rural areas, majority was of Muslim, in urban areas, majority was of Hindus, although they were part of the same nation, but sociology, cultural practices, interpretation, and uh, I mean, addressing the life issues was quite different. So at that time, separation of sin took place because already there was such movement in the India level because uh, this mission, which was actively coming, that was also having interviews other I mean areas in India. So that the thing should not be considered in isolation. And main role in separation of sins, along with Sanjeev said, was played by the Sheikh Abdul Majid Sindhi and Mahmoud Ayub Kuro, and not at some extent, but he wrote a lot of the books of Rashidi Saab, Ali Muhammad Rashidi, Pir Ali Muhammad Rashidi. So point is that the separation of sin should be considered in the broader context, not a single isolation event. It should be considered at the what was happening at the time at the subcontinental level. So definitely James had played the role, but it was not the only person. There was other politicians, particularly Sheikh Abdul Majid Sindhi, Muhammad Ayub Kuro, IP Alman Shah Rashidi, and Abdullah Harun. I finished my those points.
Thank you, Dr. Junaid. I do have one question, but before we get to that, does anybody else in the audience have any questions? No. Okay. Thank you so much to Mr. Panwar and Dr. Junaid for taking the time to explain about GM Syed and to Munir, and thank you to Gayatri for making this event happen. It's such a special and important topic to highlight. So, my question is to you, Dr. Janeju. What was the inspiration to share about GM Syed, and what was it that made you want what did you want everyone to know about GM Syed over perhaps anyone else in history?
Hmm. Uh, Basically, uh, since on story, or let me say history, is incomplete with reference, incomplete if we are not referring certain persons. Means at cultural level, towering personalities, Shabdlati Bhitai, if someone wants to work on sin and he somehow bypasses Shah Abdul Latif, then I think that that research is to some extent incomplete. Likewise, this was not my first work on biographical research work. Prior to that, I have wrote or edited the biographical or academic work on Comrade Hyderabad Jatoi. The title of that book was The Peasant's Perspective. He was the peasant leader. He was equally important. He played a lot of role for the peasantry and farmers and brought some reform. So that was my first book that I wrote and edited. And there are other persons. There is a Sheikh Ayaz, there is a Piri Samdin Rashdi, there is a M.H. Panwar, there is the Rasul Palido. These are the persons we may have lot of differences, and their political ideas and priorities are to some extent contradictory to each other, especially Sanjeev and Rasul Palido. But no doubt, without doubt, we could say that Sindh was their priority. So in this way, these are the persons, they must be documented, because if we are not sharing their stories, it means we are not telling our young generation a complete story. So basically, this is a story, our past, and that should be carried out. And it is our responsibility, being a senior person, being having a certain research skill, that should be transferred and honestly, without any biases, without any judgment, because young generation is much more clever and they have much more sources of learning and rechecking the statement. That's it. So that was only inspiration to set the context, tell the story, and build the future.
Thank you so much for doing this. Mr. Panwar and Mr. Juneju, any last minute remarks before we close out the session for today?
For me, I think Zafar can speak in the last. Uh, Thank you so much. It was a wonderful opportunity for us. For I think the for Sindhis Unite is not just now, but this message will be go beyond borders and to wide audiences. And of course, for like as I said, like this is the whole reason to tell the story about our past to build a better future. So again, thank you so much, and thank you, Zafar and Gayatri. Yeah, thank you.
Before we wrap
Me,
up,
me,
Mr. Asif, I have a
me,
quick request for you in case if you would want to highlight in how many countries is the book available. So if people are interested to get it, they can look for it.
Okay, so on Amazon, it's available pretty much everywhere. Not in India, as you mentioned, but Zafar mentioned that it's available in Sindh, Pakistan, and of course, rest of the I would say, it's available in the UK. And when I was looking at, nobody confirmed me from part of the Europe or, but it's in America, Canada. Uh, but we have some physical copies in UK, so it's very hard. It's a big country, but in London, like I have copies that we have been kind of selling over here. So in Toronto area, if somebody's there, but I would say like, well, you can contact me. You have my contact information. So if we can manage in the California, we have some. Maybe we have some around New York too. Priya. So that we can manage. But we have very limited copies over here. But the Amazon, I would say that is the best source for getting this copy. But again, if there's any question, concern, any part, like because Amazon, like uh, we are the owner over there. So if there's any issue, so please feel free to let us know, and then we'll try to figure out one or the other way.
Sure. If in case anyone emails me or gets in touch with me to avail the book, I'll get back to you. I think it's most likely there in the Europe. I have tried asking around a few people. It's definitely there in the UK. I got mine from there. It's just the concern with India.
Okay, so India, like that's actually we have, yeah, it's very, we have sent few copies to our friends over there, during conference when you got this copy in London. So that's probably we can talk offline to see, how we can manage to bring copies over there. I don't know, like, or how we can get this on Amazon. So probably we can, yeah, I love to discuss with you if you're interested to resolve it one or the other way, because I know we have a lot of friends over there, Sindhis, of course, and the a good audience over there. So we are interested to get this book in India.
I'll speak to you maybe in a day or two regarding this.
Sure, anytime.
Thank you.
And Dr. Juneju, any last minute?
Ah, First of all, thank you very much for hosting. I mean, Gayatri and Priya for this wonderful debate, discussion, and this was really wonderful session. And honestly, when you first wrote me about this, I was little bit reluctant. Who are these people? I immediately contact Asif. I immediately contact Rishika Williams to know about you, because nowadays it is a very challenging. So I am very much happy to have a discussion with you, and I think we will continue such type of discourse and discussion. Again, thank you very much, Asif. Thank you very much, Gayatri, Priya, and other persons who listened us. And thank you very much, Munir Shah, who gave us a lot of considerable time. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And Gayatri, over to you to close it out. Thank you again for making this session happen. and for all your hard
Thank you
work.
so much, Priya. I think I have hardly done anything. It was all Dr. Zafar who cooperated and quickly responded to all of my emails and agreed to come to our platform. I indeed agreed that he had no idea about us, and I walked him through our work and everything, and he happily agreed, cooperated, and I was like, I'll be so grateful to you if you come to our platform, because we are all students learning. Every day we're learning new thing about Sindh. It's like, the more the merrier. So thanks so much, Dr. Zafar Junejo. We hope that we can soon find your books in India. And thanks so much, Asif Pamar, for joining us, guiding me through, cooperating, making me understand the publication of this book. It's been a long journey, and I hope to stay connected with the both of you. Thanks so much, and good night, wherever you are in whichever part of the world. Hope to see you all again soon. Thanks.
Thank you.